thing for us to live with as believers, to know that we are designed uniquely by God, one of a kind, and it's not just, sometimes I feel like I'm a piece of work,
Right.
but in
Yes,
reality,
yes.
I'm a work of art.
Right.
I'm a work of art.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. What were you created to do? Is there a unique blueprint for each person? Does he have a specific plan, or are we just supposed to let it play out based on the gifts he gives us? This is episode 28 of season 2 of Unhurried. I'm your host, Doug Kyle. Ryan, along with me in the studio.
Hey.
Great to have you all with us. Ryan, always good to have you part of the conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It makes all the difference, I'll tell you that. It's fantastic. Well, today I want to pivot a little bit from our normal, kind of bouncing off a message that I gave on a Sunday morning. I want to talk about God's creativity at work in our own lives. The idea of that, does God have a plan that we're created to do? And if so, how do we find that? I'm passionate about this, actually. This idea that there is a blueprint for each person that's distinct for them, is as unique as our fingerprints. God has a plan for each one of us. How do we find that? So we're going to dive into that here a little bit. But first of all, Ryan, I wanted to ask you, yesterday at church, you were talking to a bunch of high schoolers afterwards, after the service was over. They were, it looked like to me like from a distance, like these groupies that were there, like just enamored with the musician on stage.
No.
That wasn't the case?
The complete opposite.
All right.
They view me as a older brother or like an older cousin that is not cool, has no brings no value to them, and all they do is ridicule me. And the funniest thing is, I've said this before, is I've survived high school, right?
Yeah.
Like I survived high school. I made it through college, and the things that they say to me, I go, wait a minute, I didn't know that was an insecurity. And I'm like, new insecurity unlocked. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, wow.
They're bringing it out. It's like you're in high school all over again.
I'm in high school all over again.
Worse than it ever was back then.
That's what I'm saying. Worse than it ever was. And I'm going, I thought we were friends.
Well,
and I don't know what to say back to them. They're so quick, and they're so witty, and they're funny. They make me laugh all the time. So I'm just like, I just have to just be okay with it, Yeah.
Well,
So there's no adoration, or admiration. I mean, is what I meant. Yeah.
Well, I was sort of like, nearby, and I came in and I was eavesdropping a little bit, and the podcast came up.
Yes, it did. Yes.
And so that's what I was curious about, because I didn't get to stick around here much about that.
Sure.
But you were talking with them about the podcast.
Yes. Yes.
What's so we got some teenagers listening to the podcast.
Yes. Well, they were, like I said, they were saying how great you are, and I was like, yes, you are the real deal. And they were like, it would be better without you. And I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, now you're just being mean. And they're like, no, seriously, it would be.
They did not say that.
No, they did. And then they were.
You're making this up now.
No, I'm being 100%.
Wow.
Like I said, I survived high school until I knew the high school at Green Valley Church was more rough than my high school growing up, But I'm just kidding. But
GVC High is rough.
Yeah, GVC
rough.
High is rough.
It's hard on you.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but they were just making fun of the way that I say things and the way that I talk, and they were, just I think I had said something a few podcasts ago, and they were like, they had picked up on the dialect of it, and so they were like, right, and they just kept on doing it over and over and over again. I was just like, what? Like, what are you guys talking about? So
that's awesome.
But it was fun.
Well, we're glad to have anybody listening, but
for sure,
shout out to any high schoolers that are listening, and could you take it easy on Ryan? He's fragile. He's fragile.
Guys, I put on this real tough guy exterior, but on the inside, it's, I'm a softie.
Take it easy on him. All right. Well, we have a giveaway to do here. The hat and the two-sided puck, we're giving those away. Again, it's dwindling down. We might only have one or two left after this, I think. But the puck is now part of the giveaway, this two-sided puck. And if you remember when we first talked about this, we didn't know who had given this to us, who had bought these and had them made. There was just a note attached. It looked like, I made fun of it. It looked like a ransom note.
Yes.
Well, the ransom noters have been found.
Oh,
they've been discovered. We found them.
Dun dun dun.
And they've fessed up to who it was after pleading with them to do so on the podcast. And so we are, I know who they are. And then to go along with it, they made another item. I'm showing it on YouTube here. This is Unhurried popcorn. There's only 2 of these. You got one and I got one.
Yep.
And it came in a ransom note kind of folder. And it says $6 date night on it.
Nice.
So that's a reference to your story.
Yep.
So I have actually made popcorn for our show. And so this will be called the popcorn episode, where we have popcorn on the set. So dig in if you want to.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to do the chewing sounds.
You're not going to chew. You're not going to chew on the air. All right. Well, Ryan is chewing off mic. I will say hello to. Thank you to our ransomers. There are 3 couples that were involved in this. 2 of them are at our church, and the third one actually used to go to our church, and now they have moved to Switzerland. But Claudio and Sandra are actually part of this plot to bring about the two-sided puck and the popcorn. So hello in Switzerland. Hope they're still listening.
Yes. So I think we should, if we want to, kind of, toot our own horn here, right? I think we can say we have a podcast that streams across the world, because I don't know if you've noticed, I remember we mentioned early on that we can, because of our, where we can stream in like all of our services, like where it gets distributed, we can track like who, what city you're in or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, we are tracking in Switzerland.
We are.
Yes, we are.
You can see us.
I can see this right here, right now, in real time. I wish I could turn my laptop around, but yeah, we are in Switzerland.
Claudio, Sandra, hello.
Hello.
It's got to be you. It's got to be you, or your friends that you've introduced us to.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So
can you zoom in and see if there's more than one in Switzerland?
So far we have 2 in Switzerland.
What?
Yeah. And I don't know the area very well, but
so maybe Claudio's listening at work,
maybe.
Sandra's listening at home, maybe it's just them, but
yeah.
That's fantastic.
It looks like to me on the map, obviously I don't know, they would be I'm going to take a picture and then send it to them, but I can't tell if this is France. So maybe they were listening on the way in, I'm not sure.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
This is not that sophisticated. We're not sure what country it is, as it turns out.
I don't know geography very well, but
somewhere in Europe,
somewhere over here,
somewhere on the other side of the Atlantic.
Yes.
Someone is listening.
Someone is listening.
There's like
here.
5 little.
Yeah, I know.
The hits over there.
I know.
Something in Italy.
Yeah. So,
nice. All right.
Yeah. So fantastic. I think we can say we're worldwide now. We are international.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, if you'd like to win a hat or a coaster / Unhurried 2-sided every puck bottle opener, no matter where you are in the world, you can enter in. Let us know by leaving a comment on YouTube or sending us an email at unhurriedpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll figure out a way to ship it to you. If we can figure out what country you're actually in.
Right. Right. Reach out to us, and then we'll figure out where you are. We'll send it to you.
Yeah. All right. So I've got a handful of popcorn here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you these cards. We're going to shuffle them. We've got a bunch of winners. While you're doing that, I'm going to eat some popcorn off mic.
Go for it. Yeah. Thank you to the popcorn. My youngest, Brinley, one of her first words was pop pop, and because she loved popcorn.
Oh, really?
And as a baby, like, you're not really supposed to give them popcorn, okay? Because it's like kind of, they can choke on it, and it's like frowned upon.
Yeah.
And so, but my kids and I, we love popcorn. So I was just like, you know what? She's fine. She can eat it. Like, she eats pretty good. I can just watch her. But the looks I would get, like when we would be at dance or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a movie theater right by the dance studio, and so I would just walk in and I'd be like, "Can I get some popcorn?" And so then I would walk back with like a little bag of popcorn, and Brindley and I would sit there and watch, my other two in their dance classes, but the looks I would get from the other parents, because they're like, "Wait a minute, like she's one, why is she eating popcorn?"
So not only are the high schoolers making fun of you, your fellow parents are making fun of you as well.
But that's okay. I feel like that's fine. If other parents make fun of me, that's okay.
Yeah.
The high schoolers, come on. You know what I mean?
That's hard.
That's rough.
That's rough.
That is rough. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We got a bunch of people entered in the drawing.
Sure.
I've assigned a card to each person. So let's
ready?
roll it. Yeah. It is a Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
And that is Vic.
Hey,
congratulations, Vic. Vic, you are the winner. Actually, complete disclosure, Vic was a part of the popcorn crew.
Look at that.
And the Unhurried crew. And
it's just meant to be.
Vic and Angeli, so congratulations to them. Certainly,
Sweet.
Craig and Carol should get a shout out too.
For sure.
Part of it.
Yep.
But Vic, you won. So come see Ryan or myself. We'll get you your hat. We'll get you your puck. You will be the envy of the neighborhood.
Yep.
All right. Well, today we want to talk about what you were created to do. Is there a unique blueprint for each person? This is something that when we do the SHAPE seminar at church, I really want people to understand. And there's a passage that has really electrified my thinking about this. It's Ephesians 2:10 that says, "We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." And I'm just enamored with that word workmanship. Now I see why maybe popcorn wasn't a good idea. I feel like I got one caught in my throat right now as I'm speaking.
Do you have any water?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to have a sip of water. Why do you, Ryan, think workmanship is a great word while I sip some water?
I think it's great. Like, when people don't know the definition of a word, you're like, workmanship. It's workmanship. Like when you don't know the definition of it and you're like trying to figure out what it is. It's men working together
on a ship.
On a ship.
No, that's not what it is. All right. So the word workmanship is really interesting. In the original language in Greek is poema, where we get our word poem. And it's this idea of this creative work of art that has been crafted by an artist. And so it's really a beautiful word. And it's this, when it talks about us being God's workmanship, we're really his work of art. We're his masterpiece. Yeah. And something that he's put his signature on. And just like, a painter or a sculptor, they're one of a kind. Each one is unique and each one is different. And so I love that idea that we are his workmanship. And if people are studied in art, they can tell who the artist is just by looking at their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe like a song. You could hear a song, you go, I kind of know who, or you hear a band and you go, yes, I know them.
Yeah.
You can tell by their voices. You can tell by their instruments. You can tell by their style.
Yeah. I can tell by guitars. When you and I were at the concert a few weeks ago.
We talked about it in last week's podcast.
Yes, we did. Yeah. As soon as the opening artist came on, I was like, that's my guitar. I could tell that he had the same model, just by the sound, by the tone of it and the sound, So yeah, you can tell by who sculpts it.
That was pretty impressive, by the way. This artist comes on stage and he has literally the same guitar you have.
Right. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
You couldn't stop thinking about that one.
I could not. Yeah, I was geeking out about it.
Yeah, you were geeking out.
And I texted, because one of our guys that does our front of house here, our sound at the church, he was at the concert too. I texted him and I said, because I knew he was going to know it was my guitar, right? And so I texted him and I said, how come my guitar can't sound like this on Sunday? Because it just sounded incredible.
Yeah.
And he writes me back, talent? ?
Wow.
I wrote it back. I said, I was really hoping you were going to say a sound issue.
Is he a high schooler?
No, he's not.
Wow.
That's what I think they got to him.
Well, they've influenced him. They're infiltrating the church. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's harsh.
No, it was fun. It was funny. It was funny.
Well, let me assure you
Yes.
that God says about you, you're
Yes.
his work of art. You're
Right.
his poema.
Right.
You're his masterpiece, and he puts his signature. I think that's a great thing for us to live with as believers, to know that we are designed uniquely by God, one of a kind, and it's not just, sometimes I feel like I'm a piece of work,
Right.
but in
Yes,
reality,
yes.
I'm a work of art.
Right.
A work of art.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Now, but then it goes on to say that we are created in Christ Jesus to do good works.
Yeah.
So we are not just a work of art, we're functional art.
Yeah.
That we have a function that we're supposed to do. And this is what I'm really wanting to get at, is this idea that as uniquely designed by God in the beautiful way, we're designed for a purpose,
Yeah.
for a good work. And so I always ask this question at our Shape Seminar, so I'm going to pop quiz it with you.
Sure.
Put you on the spot a little bit.
All right.
What would be the difference between functional art and non-functional art? Can you give an example of like what? Can you give an example of either one? Functional art, non-functional art.
I'm trying to think of like, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Like, would like a car?
A car would be a great example of functional art,
Right.
Because it's, beautiful to look at.
Sure.
Let's say well designed, well crafted.
Right.
It comes off the showroom. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
But it's designed for a purpose to get you from point A to point B.
Right.
So a car's a great example. VW bus being maybe the premier example of this beautiful work of art.
Yes.
Although it doesn't always get you from point A to point B. To be honest, that's where the definition breaks down a little bit.
But your prayer life.
But the prayer life
notch.
is designed to increase your prayer life. And there you go. It's fantastic.
Right.
You were just talking about a guitar.
Because that's something that's been made, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And beautiful to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I imagine the way that guitar, your guitar was designed was not just to play good music, but it's actually nice to look at too,
nice
right?
to look
It's
at.
beautiful,
Yeah.
crafted and designed.
Yeah.
So functional art is anything that is designed both beautifully, crafted in a way that's appealing to look at, but also has a purpose for it. Like, a very basic level, like a pitcher of water. You can imagine a crafted pitcher that looks really nice, ceramic, but it's designed to hold water and pour water or to pour liquid.
Right.
A building, it can be beautiful architecture, but it's designed to live in or to work in or something like that. So painting on the wall would just be non-functional art. And so sometimes we think of ourselves, we say, I'm a work of art by God. We're not just meant to be looked at, We're not just meant to be admired. We're designed with a function. It says here we're created in Christ Jesus to do good works, beautifully, magnificently, but purposefully for something that we're supposed to do. This to me is amazing, that God not only designed us, but he also designed us with certain things that we're supposed to do, certain gifts, certain abilities, certain aptitudes, certain personalities that are really uniquely designed for the things that we're supposed to do.
Yeah. I always tell the people on our teams and stuff, it's like, well, we can't all be hands, like we can't all be feet, it's like we can't all be one thing. So it's like when you're able to use all of your gifts together, you know what I mean? That it's like we're all designed very uniquely,
What's your in your garage or toolkit? Do you have a lot of tools or very few tools?
I have a lot of tools, very unorganized.
Okay, a lot of tools.
A lot of tools.
Because you bought them or they were handed down to you, or?
I bought most of mine. Yeah, most of mine I've bought just having to do little projects and things like that.
So are you kind of handy?
No.
But you have lots of tools.
But I have lots of tools. I jokingly tell my wife that she deserved somebody more like a Chip Gaines.
Mm-hmm.
You know Chip and Joanna Gaines, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. I
Okay,
know.
okay,
I
okay.
know who they are.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I jokingly tell her all the time, like, anytime she asks me to do a project, I'm like, okay, I'll try my best,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then it always takes me like way longer than it should. And I always tell her, like, I'm like, babe, I'm sorry. You deserve somebody like a Chip, you know, and I'm not your Chip. You know what I mean? I'm just not. I'm not handy at all.
I'm not handy either at all, but I'm intrigued by tools. I don't have many of them, although over the years I've inherited some from Cindy's dad, who had just so many tools.
Yeah.
And I've got some of his. And what was amazing to me about Cindy's dad is that he kind of had a tool for everything. And I'm the guy that would I get a hammer, a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, and I think that's going to cut it.
Yeah, that's going to be enough.
You know?
Yeah.
And so have you ever tried to like hammer with like a shoe? Hammer and nail with a shoe?
No.
I have. You need to put this in, but you don't have a hammer nearby. Have you ever tried to do it with a stapler?
No.
Yes, I haven't.
Okay, you know what? I'm looking pretty good right now.
You're looking really good. I am your Chip Gaines compared to me.
Yeah. No, I'm the guy that can't find a tool because I don't put it back where it should, or I throw it in my, toolbox or whatever, and I'm spending 25 minutes looking for a tool, and I'm like, I'm just going to go to Home Depot. So I have 45 hammers
of the same one.
Of the same one, yeah. But I can never find the one I want at the time, and I just get frustrated, and I go, I'm just going to Home Depot
and get another one,
and just go get another one. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah.
For years before my father-in-law graduated to heaven, he and my mother-in-law lived down the street from us.
Sure.
And he would come over to our house and he would say, he liked to do projects.
Sure.
He was retired. He would do projects. So he'd come up and he'd say, "Hey, Doug, do you notice your sprinkler in the front yard is misfiring?" And I go, "Well, actually, no, I did not notice that." And he goes, "Would you like me to fix it?" I'd be like, "Absolutely,
yeah.
Please do." And so again, he lives 5 doors down, but he would drive home, pick up his toolkit, and come back because he had like a box full of sprinkler tools.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's tools just for sprinklers?
No.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I would have been stuck with a hammer or a screwdriver trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And he brought the tools for the sprinklers, and then he would it was like easy with the right tool. I'd watch him, I'd be amazed and go, "Well, that's all there is to it." Because if you have the right tool, it's perfect. If you're trying to hammer with a stapler, it makes things a little bit harder.
Yes.
And so, to me, that's kind of the picture here, is that God's designed us to do good works, that we have a certain purpose that we're designed for. And a lot of times what I see believers doing is I see them trying to do the wrong thing with what they weren't designed to do.
Right.
And you can do it.
Sure.
You can eventually get that nail in the wall with the stapler or whatever. You can eventually with your shoe, but that's not what it was designed to do.
Right.
And but try to staple with a hammer. You can't do it.
No. So
I mean, it'd be hard. So the whole point is, first of all, is for us to really understand what we're good at, what our abilities are, what our personalities, what our shape is, what our gifting is, what we were designed to do. But then this verse just then blows my mind, because it continues. That's not the end of the verse. It continues and says, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So God not only prepared us for certain works, he prepared certain works for us.
Yeah.
And the goal of the Christian life in many ways can be described as just trying to bring those two things together, for us to find what we were meant to do and what those things are out there that need us to do it, and then bring it together.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just a cool way to think about it.
I like the way Cindy recruits people for the coffee, coffee cart or coffee ministry, because it really does give a glimpse into our church life, and gives it, and it also, it's like, it kind of is that first step, you know what I mean, to kind of getting involved on a Sunday, you know what I mean, where it's like you get a cup of coffee, you get your tea, and then the people that are always working there are always just so much fun to talk to, and you get to catch up on, things, and they, make you feel very home, very quickly, which is awesome.
I'll comment and question. I'm having some popcorn right
Okay.
now. Go on.
This is the last time we're recording a podcast during lunch. We are not doing this again. We're going to do early mornings from now on, but I was saying, about the, coffee is like, they're very much in their sweet spot. The people that Cindy has on the team, are very welcoming and energetic and fun to talk to and easy to talk to. And so, they're very much in their shape.
Yeah, and that sort of is part of the culture here at the church, this idea that we want people to understand what they were designed to do.
For sure.
And those works that were designed for them, and to bring those things together.
Yeah.
It's really, like you say, it really is admirable and awesome when you see it happening. But I think a lot of times we as putting myself in the position of our viewers and listeners, sometimes we feel like, yeah, that's good for them, but I don't know what mine is.
Right.
What am I supposed to do? That's really cool when we see it.
Mm-hmm.
But do I have anything like that? Do I don't know that I do. But I think when you take time to really look at yourself and what your strengths are and what your gifts are, it becomes really more clear. This is what God wants me to do. So sometimes we pray, Lord, what do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? And it's like this wide open prayer, like it could be a million things. And instead, it can be a lot more practical than that, than just like, we usually look at cool things other people are doing and say, I want to do that. But rather than looking at them, look at ourselves and say, what is it, that I'm already have a knack for, what God's gifted me in, what I have some skill in, some background in, some training in, some gifting in.
Yeah.
That is very much a part of God's purpose for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and same with our, even our, worship teams or our tech teams or our children's ministry teams, it's finding those people that have those gifts, and then just plugging them in the right place, but all of us have those gifts, it's just finding the right place for you.
Yes. Yeah. And trial and error is fine.
Yes.
But don't just pick something because you saw someone else do it. You think that's really cool that they do it.
Yeah.
Don't pick it because it's like outside of your realm and I need to get good at this. I'm horrible. Find those things that are really, look at your own DNA, how God's designed you, and say, apparently God thought I'd be good at this from the very beginning.
Right.
When sometimes you watch a football game or a baseball game or something, and someone scores the winning touchdown or they hit the winning home run, and then they get interviewed afterwards, and the mic is stuck in their face, and they say something like, I just want to thank God for the ability that He's given me to play football or play baseball, whatever it is, play hockey.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
and we go, well, that's is that the right platform to say that or whatever. If they genuinely mean that, that's great theology.
Yes,
that's great theology because everything we have has been given to us by God. Not just our spiritual gifts, but even our natural abilities are God-given.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we feel like we're supposed to do things we're not good at, but in reality, if God's the one that designed us from conception, He put us together, He's been a part of the whole journey of our lives, then those things are there to help, to further the kingdom and to serve Him.
Right. Well, Mandy was, she's a phenomenal dancer and has danced, her whole life, and the kids are in dance now too and stuff. And but she was a part of like a like a Christian ministry, faith-based like dance team, and she enjoyed the way she talks about it and the way that she kind of shares stories about it. It's like she loved doing that. She loved doing that for churches and for other events and stuff, and she knew that she was like, I love dancing and I'm gifted in it, and I love kind of doing that for the kingdom, and it was awesome, the way that she was able to the lady that was running that group was able to put a lot of very talented, very skilled dancers together, but use the gifts, for God,
It really is thrilling when you start to realize that your natural abilities or your knacks or your giftings or your experience or your training is something that can be used for the kingdom, can be used for God. That's something that he actually gave you. And sometimes those are outside of the kind of typical stained glass ways we think about what God uses us to do. It's not just teaching a Bible study or playing the piano.
Right.
It can be, surfing, and it can be computer, and it can be, a million things that you have, that you're good at athletics. It could be, being handy, unlike yours truly.
Right.
Or it can be like dancing, unlike yours truly.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, same. I've got 2 left feet, so. Yeah.
Yes, the old question, can Christians dance? Well, some can, some can't. I'm one of the ones that cannot.
David can. Ryan and Doug cannot.
No. But the goal of the Christian life is just somehow see how we've been designed, and then find those works, those things that we have also been designed for us to do, and to bring them together. And to me, that's beautiful when that happens.
For sure. Well, I even know some people that have helped us with some of our, logging, and how there was, a time period where we were moving people in our church, our members, like over to a new software system to keep them all together and things like that. And there were people in our church, that came in and helped us, but it's like the skills that they had being in the corporate setting and applying that now to a ministry setting.
Yes.
That was cool to watch.
Yeah. Really cool to watch.
To see where you go, wow, they've got skills that you would have never known, and now they can use those in the church now, you know what I mean? But they had to fine tune them, outside of, the church world, which is cool.
And the same is also true. Sometimes things that you discover in church, in Christian community, about who you are and how God shaped you and gifted you and what you're good at, maybe your spiritual gifts, can be used out in the in the business world,
for sure,
or in the community, or among those who haven't entered into Christian faith yet, but are maybe intrigued.
Right.
And so you find that you can utilize those gifts outside in the community, in your workplace, and they're infused with spiritual impact.
Yes.
So it becomes this really beautiful thing, and realize I am doing something that God designed me to do.
Right.
And I feel like even careers and vocations can have that same conviction.
Yes. For a long time, when I first came to the church, we were using this software that one of our church members had coded himself. Okay. So, and you go like, wow, that's incredible. It's like he was a coder, and he saw a need that we had in the church and coded something for us. Eventually we upgraded, the system and things like that. But it's like, that's just incredible that he had this skill that he had crafted and fine-tuned, and saw a need in the church and said, I can code something for that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've been intrigued by this concept for decades now, and I still marvel when I see it. When I see someone who's really being true to how God's designed them, they found those works that they're supposed to do. They bring them together, and it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It really is a work of art. It glorifies God. It's his beautiful masterpiece being played out in a functional way.
Yes.
It really is cool. Well, that's sort of just a teaser on some of the things that we would talk about at the Shape Seminar. So if you are local to San Diego, not listening from Switzerland or Italy, and you'd like to come to one of our Shape Seminars, by the way, maybe we should just put it online too, and then they could do it.
I just thought of that right now.
Yeah.
Why have we not done that yet?
Well, maybe we should.
Yeah. We should do like a series or something.
If it ends up horrible, we'll blame it on the popcorn. It was just it just went to our heads today.
It was the pop. You know what I mean? It was the pop.
Absolutely. All right. I have a important listener question, and I'm the listener here. I have a question for you that I need you to solve.
Okay.
All right. I have a dilemma.
Oh, brother.
The question is what is the Christian response to, and then I'll explain to you to what. I was recently in our church kitchen.
Yeah.
where there's a shelf where we have collected mugs.
Yes.
And they're primarily meant to be people that want to keep their mugs here at church.
Right.
So they can wash them after they use them, put them back on the shelf. They come to church next week. They can get their coffee in it.
Right.
Save, be environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And
it's also kind of cool.
And it's kind of cool to be walking around with your cup.
Your own mug.
And now lately people have been walking around with their Unhurried mugs.
I've seen those.
Which is a beautiful thing too. But they don't want to leave those in the kitchen because they're coveted.
Yeah. I have one on there that says I woke up like this. Yeah. So that one.
That's funny. So I was recently in there and I noticed on the shelf.
Yeah.
There's this blue mug.
Okay.
From North Coast Rancho Bernardo. Another church in our community has planted a mug on our shelf. And I'm trying to,
is it Noah?
What's the Christian response here? I mean, first of all, I don't know how I got there. I'm wondering,
that's hilarious.
Did someone go to, multiple churches?
Sure.
They got this as a swag giveaway for being a first-time visitor, and then they brought it to our church, and then they left it here, and it got put on the shelf. Did someone from North Coast staff sneak over here and plant it there to see when we would find it?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Why don't we do the same?
Okay.
Why don't we start stacking other churches with Unhurried mugs?
We're going to sneak into North Coast, Rancho Bernardo, and put an Unhurried with Doug Kyle cup on there.
Yep.
And we'll put a note, "You're welcome."
You're welcome.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah. Let's make it work.
Yeah, we'll just work our way around. So perfect. That's a great response.
I don't know if this is the Christian response, but here's another idea. Why don't we take this to the Church of RB and drop that off over there?
Here you go.
It's the ever traveling mug.
What if one of our listeners right now is going, "Oh no, I've been wondering where that mug is."
Well, we got your mug.
We have your mug. So we're all one big happy family,
of course,
right? All
of
these
course,
churches. So we welcome, swag from other churches to be on our show.
Why not?
But I do like the idea of us retaliating.
That would be so funny.
Planting one of our own there.
And here's the thing: nobody else is gonna. It's just gonna be you and me.
Yeah.
Nobody else is gonna know.
We're the only ones getting a kick out of it.
It could be one of those things where it's like, because I know our church is open. We have. All sorts of people that are swinging by during the week and having meetings here and stuff like that. So it could be as innocent of somebody going, "Oh, here's where the mugs go."
Yeah. Yeah.
Here you and I are talking about how we're going to drop off Unhurried mugs at other churches.
Yeah. Maybe they just saw the blue side. They didn't read it real closely on the other side.
That's so funny.
Wow.
That makes me laugh.
That's so funny. Years ago, to be completely candid, ago, Andrew on our staff, he and I had this little gag that at Christmas time there were we had these Green Valley Church ornaments that we put on our Christmas tree in front of the lobby. This is in our old building a long time ago. And then we got a few of those and Andrew, not me, Andrew snuck into some of these other churches and hung our ornament on their Christmas trees.
That's so good.
So, it kind of,
That's so good. I had this ongoing gag with my in-laws where I would find like at Goodwill or Savers or something, I'd find like a broken like a nativity set that was like half off or they were like, it was,
because Jesus was missing.
It was like missing pieces, like Jesus or like one of the shepherds.
Kind of critical.
Yes, I know. Jesus was, or like one of the shepherds like was like broken or something. And so then I would sneak in to, or like, I would sneak a piece out of one of their nativity sets and then put one of the broken pieces and see how long it would take them to notice, and then I'd keep doing it over and over. Like every year I would just keep doing it and doing it, and then I would like find a broken one and hide it somewhere. And it's like, so I love that stuff.
They always knew it was you.
They always knew it was me because it was my thing, but it was like, there was this one shepherd that was like, missing a head, and I like would always hide it somewhere, and it was funny. Yeah, it was funny.
I love it. That's great. Awesome. Well, thank you for solving that for me. That's
no problem.
Really great. Again, I think we might have one hat left or something.
Yeah.
So get in the drawing. These are going to be long. They're going to be collector items.
I know
soon.
there's a lot of people that are very bummed that they have not been picked yet.
Oh,
I know.
I know. I don't know. I haven't counted exactly. But
maybe one of our staff members' wives is not happy.
Not going to mention Maddie on the podcast. I wouldn't do that.
I would not mention.
Let's not mention Maddie.
Let's not do it.
No, let's not do it. All right. Blame it on the popcorn. All right. Well, if this has been helpful for you today, talking a little bit about how God designed us, we're glad that you listened in. No matter what, we're happy to have you. If you're listening from around the world, let us know on our international podcast.
International podcast
that Ryan has deemed it today. And we hope that you continue to listen along. Thank you, Ryan, for being a part of it, the conversation. Until next time, this has been Unhurried with me, your host, Doug Kyle. I look forward to talking soon.